Today's story follows a quiet, introverted man who lives tucked away from the world, lost in his own thoughts. But fate has other plans. It brings him into contact with people who gently nudge him back toward life, giving him the courage to feel again. Some might find this tale slow or uneventful at first glance. But if you've ever felt alone at any point in your life, this story will speak to you in ways you didn't expect. We begin with a man named Finn standing on a rooftop of his home, watching trains pass by in the distance. There's a stillness in him, a kind of silent fascination. After a while, he checks his watch and heads off to work. On his way down, he knocks on the door of his neighbor Henry, who also happens to be his boss. The two leave together for their daily routine. Henry owns a small toy train shop called Golden Spike, nestled in a quiet town. Finn works there too. Their bond is built not just on proximity, but on a shared love for trains, tiny models that carry big emotions. Finn is a man of few words, short in stature, gentle in nature, and always wrapped in solitude. His world revolves around miniature locomotives and the books that surround them. We see neighborhood kids teasing him about his hat, laughing as he walks by. But Finn never reacts. He simply drifts deeper into his own world, unfazed and undisturbed. His daily routine is simple and predictable. Open the shop in the morning, repair toy trains, and later, watch train chasing videos with a few close friends. Footage where people follow real trains with cameras, capturing their journey. In the evenings, he enjoys quiet drinks with Henry, his only real companion. But life, as always, has its own script. One day, while working, Henry calls Finn to join him for lunch. Finn replies that he'll finish the repair first, and then come along. Just then, a sudden jolt shakes his work table. Alarmed, Finn rushes outside, only to find Henry collapsed on the ground. He's gone. The shock is heavy, but Finn's face remains still. No tears, no outburst. He swallows the pain, just as he always has. The following day, Henry's lawyer arrives to meet Finn in person. With a gentle tone of condolence, the lawyer hands Finn a file, one that holds a surprising revelation. Before passing away, Henry had transferred ownership of a property to Finn, an old train station and half an acre of land located in the quiet village of West Milford, New Jersey. The lawyer suggests that Finn should consider moving there and making it his new home. Finn, still processing the loss, asks who will take care of the shop if he leaves. The lawyer informs him that the store is set to be auctioned off within 6 weeks. Hearing this, Finn feels a wave of disappointment. The place that once gave him routine and comfort is slipping away. As the story moves forward, we see Finn the next morning, packing his belongings. The destination isn't far, so he decides to walk there, choosing the path alongside the train tracks, the very tracks that have always felt familiar. By evening, he arrives at the location. His eyes fall on an old, weathered building, and something inside him knows, this is home now. The place is eerily quiet. No trains stop here anymore. The tracks themselves seem like faded memories, remnants of a time long gone. The station stands still, mirroring the silence that has always lived within Finn. He steps inside. There are books scattered around, a small kitchen tucked in the corner, and through the window, a forest view that feels like solitude made visible. It's exactly the kind of isolation he's always craved. Exhausted from the journey, Finn sinks into the worn-out couch and drifts into sleep, surrounded by the quiet embrace of his new beginning. The next morning, Finn's sleep is interrupted by a loud voice echoing outside. Curious, he steps out and sees a man calling out to him from a nearby mobile coffee truck, enthusiastically inviting him to grab a cup. This is where we meet Joe, a cheerful, warm-hearted man originally from Cuba. Joe's father has been chronically ill, so now it's up to him to run the family's food truck business. Unlike Finn, Joe isn't withdrawn. He's someone who thrives on conversation and connection. Every day, his truck is parked near the old station, hoping to serve anyone who passes by. At first, Finn ignores him completely. But after Joe's repeated, friendly invitations, Finn finally gives in and buys a cup of coffee. We see Joe trying his best to strike up a conversation, eager to build a connection. But Finn brushes him off and quietly walks away. The next morning, Finn heads to a nearby local store to pick up a few essentials. Suddenly, a car speeds toward him, nearly hitting him. but he narrowly escapes. Behind the wheel is Olivia, a nervous artist in her 40s, clearly shaken and overwhelmed. She's going through a personal crisis, and the moment rattles her. She jumps out of the car, apologizing profusely and trying to help Finn, but he quietly refuses her offer and walks away without saying a word. When Finn reaches the store, a woman working there snaps a photo of him, perhaps surprised by his unusually short stature. Finn doesn't react. He simply collects his items and heads back home, just as quietly as he arrived. On his way back, Olivia appears again, this time holding a cup of coffee. In her flustered state, she accidentally spills it. Her car slips out of control once more, and for a second, it seems like Finn might get hit again, but he manages to avoid it. Olivia rushes out, apologizing again, and offers to drive him home. Finn declines, keeping to himself as always, and walks away. When he finally reaches home, Joe tries once more to engage him in conversation and even invites him for drinks. But Finn, staying true to his nature, politely dodges the invitation and disappears inside. My dear friends, if you're enjoying this story so far, we'd be truly grateful if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel, Unique Storytellers. Your support gives us the motivation to keep bringing you heartfelt narratives like this one. Thank you. And now, let's return to the story. The next morning, Finn sets out once again, wandering alone toward the city. He follows the train tracks, letting them guide his steps. As he walks, a young girl begins trailing behind him. Her name is Cleo. At first, Cleo assumes Finn is just another boy her age. But the moment Finn turns and gently says hello, she panics and runs off, startled by the unexpected encounter. Daylight slowly fades into the quiet embrace of evening. As Finn prepares to sleep, a knock echoes at his door. He opens it to find Olivia standing there. She's come to apologize for the previous day's incident and offers to share a drink with him. During their time together, Olivia becomes visibly intoxicated. In her vulnerable state, she opens up about her past, revealing that her relationship with her ex-husband fell apart after a devastating loss. Last year, she lost her only son in a tragic accident. The grief was too much to bear, and she eventually moved to this small town, hoping to find some peace. She asks Finn about his own life, but he remains quiet, offering little in return. Olivia, now too drunk to leave, ends up falling asleep on the couch. Finn, ever respectful and reserved, chooses to sleep in the bathtub for the night. The next morning, Joe spots Olivia quietly leaving Finn's house. Curious, he walks straight up to Finn and asks if he's dating her. Finn calmly replies that there's nothing like that going on. As they talk, they notice Olivia has accidentally left her phone behind. Later, Finn walks over to return the phone, but instead of knocking, he simply places it at her doorstep and quietly walks away. On his way back, he stops by the local library to pick up a few books. Just as he approaches the counter, a startled scream breaks the silence. A young woman has seen him and panicked. This is where we meet Emily. During their brief conversation, Emily explains that Finn is new in town, which is why he doesn't have a library card yet. Without it, he can't borrow any books. Just then, Olivia arrives at the library. Overhearing the conversation, she offers to let Finn borrow the books using her card. But true to his nature, Finn politely declines and walks away. When he returns home, he finds something unexpected at his doorstep, the very book he had wanted to borrow. Joe tells him that Olivia had left it there for him. Finn listens quietly, says nothing, and steps inside with his usual silence. As afternoon settles in, Finn begins inspecting the train cars parked near the station. He carefully checks each one, noting their serial numbers. Just then, Cleo returns and approaches him again. Curious, she asks what he's doing. Finn explains that he's checking the serial numbers on the bogies. Their conversation flows naturally, and a quiet friendship begins to form between them. The following morning, Joe's coffee truck receives a few customers. Among them is Charlie, who happens to be the boyfriend of the librarian's girl, Emily. As soon as Charlie and his friend spot Finn, they start mocking his hat, laughing at his appearance. Joe doesn't take it lightly. He steps in and firmly asks them to leave. It's clear now, Joe has started to care about Finn. Meanwhile, Finn continues his daily routine. He sits in a nearby park, watching trains pass by and reading books about locomotives. Joe, who doesn't have many customers that day, decides to join him. He asks Finn why he always sits there alone. Finn replies that he enjoys watching the trains as they roll by. Joe then asks when the next train is expected. Finn, with quiet excitement, says it will cross the bridge in 5 minutes. And when it does, he lights up like a child, completely captivated by the moment. On their way back, they run into Olivia again. Joe, clearly exhausted, asks Olivia if she could give them a ride home. She agrees. Once they arrive, Joe offers them a meal. During the conversation, Olivia asks Finn what he likes to do in his free time. Joe shares that he's always dreamed of train chasing, just once in his life. But the challenge is, he doesn't have a car to follow the trains or a camera to record them. Just then, Joe receives a call from his father. He quickly grabs his things and leaves, leaving Finn and Olivia quietly sharing a meal, saying nothing, yet somehow understanding everything. The next day, Olivia shows up at Finn's doorstep once again, but he isn't home. He's out by the bridge with Joe, watching trains pass by, one of their favorite shared rituals. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, Olivia gently places a video camera outside Finn's door and walks away. When Joe and Finn return, they find a camera along with a note. It reads, "Happy movie making," from Olivia. Finn stands there quietly, moved by the gesture. For the first time in his life, he feels something stir inside. Something warm, something real. Maybe, just maybe, he's beginning to care for Olivia. Time passes, and the three of them, Finn, Joe, and Olivia, grow closer. They start spending more time together, forming a bond that feels effortless and genuine. One morning, Joe decides to help Finn chase his dream. Since Finn doesn't own a car, Joe takes him train chasing in his food van. The two have a blast, laughing and enjoying every moment. The next day, Olivia invites them both over for lunch. And for the first time, we see Finn smile, really smile. His once monotonous life is slowly transforming into something vibrant and full of connection. That evening, the three of them drink a little too much and end up crashing at Olivia's place. But the tone shifts the next morning. Olivia's ex-husband shows up unexpectedly and finds Finn and Joe still there. He's visibly upset and confronts Olivia after they leave. The tension is palpable, and something in the air feels different. The following day, Finn is at home, reading one of his train books, when Cleo arrives. She tells him that her school is hosting a class presentation next Friday, and since neither of her parents can attend, she wants Finn to come and speak on her behalf. Other parents will be there too, but Finn declines. Cleo, disappointed and hurt, walks away without saying another word. Soon after, Joe stops by and mentions something odd. Olivia didn't come by for her usual coffee. She visits his food van almost every day, so her absence feels strange. Finn senses that something isn't right. The next day, as they stand outside the local store, Olivia walks past them without a glance, ignoring them completely. Both Finn and Joe are visibly concerned. Trying to shake off the unease, Joe invites Finn to join him and his dad for drinks. Finn agrees, hoping the distraction might help clear his mind. The next day, Finn heads back to the library to pick up a few books. Emily is there again, and this time, she starts flirting with him. But Finn, staying true to his quiet nature, ignores her and leaves without engaging. He walks into the nearby local store, where the woman at the counter receives a call from Olivia. She's placing an order for a few items. Finn overhears the conversation and offers to deliver the items himself, mentioning that he's already on his way to Olivia's house. But when he arrives and hands her the package, Olivia responds like a stranger, just a polite thank you before closing the door. Finn stands there, surprised and unsettled. Her distant behavior leaves him confused and emotionally shaken. Later that evening, Finn walks into the local bar, trying to distract himself. There, he runs into Emily again. She invites him to join her, explaining that she's waiting for her boyfriend, Charlie, who hasn't shown up yet. Finn mentions that he's supposed to meet Joe and his dad later that evening, but decides to stay for a while. As their conversation deepens, Emily, clearly under the influence, reveals that she's pregnant. But she hasn't told Charlie yet. She describes him as careless and unreliable, someone she doesn't trust with the news. Just then, Charlie calls her, and in a burst of frustration, she tells him not to come. When Finn and Emily step outside the bar, Charlie shows up. Seeing Emily with another man, he loses his temper. He tries to confront her, but when Finn steps in, Charlie shoves him. Finn doesn't retaliate. He simply walks away, leaving the tension behind. The next morning, Joe shows up at Finn's door, apologizing for how things went during their last night out. But Finn isn't ready to forgive. He wants to be alone, and Joe, sensing the tension, walks away disappointed. Days pass, and Joe's food van is nowhere to be seen. Finn begins to worry. He realizes that the good times he shared with Joe and Olivia may have come to an end. He's alone again, but this time, the loneliness feels heavier. That evening, Emily visits Finn at home. She apologizes for Charlie's behavior the other night. As they talk, emotions rise, and they share a kiss. But suddenly, Finn pulls away. He tells Emily that this isn't right. Deep down, he knows that what he feels for Olivia is something he can't replicate with anyone else. The story moves forward. Finn now spends his days sitting outside Olivia's house, hoping that maybe, just maybe, their friendship will return to what it once was. One day, he sees Olivia angrily talking to her ex-husband on the phone. Gathering courage, Finn approaches her. But Olivia, still upset, lashes out and tells him she doesn't need him in her life. The words hit hard. That night, he finds himself back at the local bar. After a few drinks, he notices people staring at him. Something snaps. He throws his glass, climbs onto a table, and shouts, "If you've never seen a man with a hat like mine, take a good look." He's done caring what anyone thinks. On his way home, drunk and disoriented, he stumbles onto the train tracks and collapses. When he wakes up, a train is approaching, but there's no fear on his face. It's as if he's ready to embrace whatever comes. But morning arrives, and everything is normal. Perhaps his small stature allowed the train to pass over him. The haze lifts, and clarity returns. He realizes how precious life truly is. He picks up his broken watch and walks back home. The next day, Finn gathers his strength and visits Olivia again. He finds her unconscious. He helps her up, and Olivia finally opens up. Her ex-husband is remarrying, and in her despair, she had taken sleeping pills, trying to end her pain. Her husband had moved on, forgetting the child they lost. As she breaks down, Finn holds her close. Olivia decides to seek professional help and begins treatment at a mental health facility. Finn visits her home daily, cleaning and caring for the space she left behind. Then, he makes a decision. He will speak at Cleo's school, just as she had once asked. During the speech, a child mocks his hat, but Finn doesn't flinch. The rest of the children listen intently as he shares his love for trains, his voice steady and full of heart. Olivia eventually returns from the hospital and invites Finn and Joe over. The three reunite, their bond stronger than ever. Together, they fill the emptiness in each other's lives. They spend their days in laughter, warmth, and quiet joy. And with that, the story comes to a close. Sometimes life has a way of reminding us of this simple truth. Being quiet doesn't make you weak, it makes you powerful. The ones who can't recognize your worth were never meant to walk beside you. Trust may be broken, but as long as you're breathing, hope is still alive. Give yourself grace. Take the time to rediscover who you are. Stand back up. Not everyone is here to hurt you. There are hearts out there waiting for someone as real as you. Learn to embrace yourself with love first, and little by little, you'll find it easier to trust again. You are rare. You are valuable. And one day, the silence you carry will rise like thunder.